Hello, and welcome back to day 3 of my little let's play, I'll call it. My little something it is. Um, I actually did quite. Oh, let's just wait for it to load in. I was in the loading screen today and the Halloween tricks are on. Oh, still laggy. I was in the loading screen today and the Halloween tricks are on. Oh my days. It actually made me thought I was going insane for a second. I was wondering where the Enderman was coming from. I'm glad to know that it was just my imagination. Yeah, I was a bit demotivated to make this one today. Just because I didn't really have any topics to talk about that I thought I would be able to talk about. But that's like the whole reason I'm doing this in the first place is to be able to get better to myself and to others. And this is one of those ways you can get better at stuff like that. I had a topic to talk about up until yesterday. There was something. I should have written it down, and I think I'm going to do that from now on. I'm just going to write something down beforehand that I can bring up. So I'm just going to talk about whatever comes to my mind, because I don't plan these, and I don't really plan to plan them either. I'm just going to sort of go with it for now anyway. Who knows where I'll be in a few years' time. A few years, few weeks' time even. So what was I gonna say? Oh, let's just make an ugly house. I don't care. Just for now. There was something I wanted to talk about. I've completely forgot. I'm gonna start using this as sort of like a journal of sorts. I think I've already said that though. Just see where I'm at in a few years. I finally finished uni, which was a hassle and a half. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about. I think the Let's Play series in Minecraft is dying quite a bit. I don't think there's many people that do it as much anymore. I don't think it's as popular, which is a bit sad, because I always didn't mind, like, when people did Let's Plays, I didn't mind the slower paced. Holy crap, this is a horrible house. I didn't mind the slower paced, wow, I'm really gonna do this again tomorrow. It's just because it's nighttime. The slower paced vibe to it. I think that people have become, like, the attention span of individuals is a lot worse than it used to be, which is kind of sad to see. Like, people can't even hold conversation with others now without needing to scroll on their phone for a bit. Oh, forgive my horrible building skills, by the way. And I think with everything becoming increasingly online, it's becoming more and more normalized that you don't need to interact with each other as much. I'm just gonna make some of this, maybe using sticks. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people stay at home a lot more, like even uni you can do it online now. There's no real need to make connections and stuff like that, or go outside as much and talk and meet new people. I think people have always been introverted, but it's just exacerbating the issue a bit more. I know, I'm guilty of it sometimes. I might just mine. Maybe from back here. Yeah, there's some days where I just don't know what to talk about. I just don't know what exactly I'm supposed to say, which I guess is fine. Because it's like with any new skill that you have to learn. I don't think you can be good at some things off the start. Like, I think, if anything, if you have to learn something, then it means that it's acquired. It's knowledge. I think. Oh, that was a train of thought there. Now it just sounds like I'm absolutely talking about jack all. But no, I was bringing something up. I promise. I was saying something important. I can't focus on two things at once, which is another skill that I'm trying to learn by playing a game in the background instead of just talking to a brick wall. It also helps my attention span when I go back to look on what I've said. Where was I? Yeah, I think that it's a tough thing to remember that some skills are rewarding precisely because you have to work in order to get it. And I think knowledge is one of those things where you can get really frustrated that you don't know something, but you got to remember that the whole reason it's knowledge means that it's something that you need to learn, and to have to learn something obviously means that you didn't have it originally. So I find that hard myself to wrap my head around, or not wrap my head around, but keep in the forefront of my mind that I'm bad at something simply because I don't have, I haven't mastered the topic. I don't know everything there is to know, because I can still learn new things, and if I can still learn new things, it means I didn't know those things originally. And the things I learn are more often than not helpful in those areas, and they help me in my life and in the skill I want to achieve. And I think this is one of those things where I'm not particularly talented. I'm just a idiot that will continue to smash his head at a brick wall, and then eventually I'm just gonna hope that it sticks. I don't even think about building here. I've changed my mind. I want to build underwater. I don't know, I just feel like it's cooler. We also got the treasure map we need to do. I forgot about that. I'm trying to make these each 15 minutes long, just because I want to build up the habit of consistency over time, rather than just smashing into it straight away and then, not being able to keep up with the workload when things get a bit tougher. But if I just have it at like 50 minutes a day, I'd make a video each day, then I can consistently upload and I can consistently learn, which is better than learning all at once and then forgetting over time. That's what I'd like to say. Yeah. I was looking at other people, and I think I find YouTube is a very enjoyable thing to watch, and I've always wanted to contribute to that in a way, in my own little way, which is another reason why I've wanted to do this, because I like seeing those stories of people, overcoming hardships and challenges, and I don't think I have the discipline to be able to do some things like that for too long. I don't think I could sit there and, taking Minecraft as an example, which is what I'm playing, I've seen some server or whatnot where they're fighting some other group, and they're doing all this preparation, and it pays off or it doesn't, and it's all these stories they're telling, which is kind of cool, I think, to be able to share stuff like that with other people and entertain them as well. But it's a double-edged sword as well, which is frightening? No, well, I guess, but it's just it's just a double-edged sword. It does some harm as well, because it makes us forget that at the end of the day, these are just stories, and it's not always going to be like that, or that maybe it makes us have unrealistic expectations. I think that's a big one. Or there was another one. Comparison's the thief of joy. So like looking at these people better than you makes you think of your skills as not as good, and maybe it motivates you, but for a lot of people it'll just demotivate them. It'll also Well, if you consume too much stuff, then you forget to live your own life, and I think a lot of people have fallen victim to that as well. You know, they get too wrapped up in all these stories that they want to be there instead of making the most of what they already have. But that's human nature, isn't it? To want what we don't have and to not appreciate what we already got until it's gone. We all do that. Which is something I feel like I'm going to struggle with in the future. I don't struggle with it now because I think I've got all that I need, all that I want, and I still want more stuff, but I'm really content with what I have, even if I do want more each day. But I think in the future, when I do lose what I have now in 13, however long years, just like when you're a kid, maybe I'll look back and I'll regret that I didn't more properly appreciate my present day. A lot of people want to change where they are as a kid. Like, they would, if they had the opportunity to go back in time, a lot of people would want to go back in time. However, I only think the reason that we think so good about where we used to be and how life was when we were younger is because we've forgotten most of the bad things. And I'm not saying it wasn't all good. It could have been all good. It could have been all bad. But I think that it wasn't as good as our mind makes it out to be. Because I remember as a kid, I didn't like going to school. I don't remember why I didn't like going to school. But I mean, I liked going to school sometimes, but there were still some days where I didn't want to go to school. And if it really was all that, then I wouldn't really have those days where I didn't want to go to school, or I didn't want to do this or that, or fight with my parents. And it's all simplistic now, but I think if you went back to it, you'd start to remember more and more of what time was and why you actually wanted to grow up. And maybe you'd miss the time that you had before you went back in time. And then, even then, those memories that you had with those people, even if you went back in time, you can't experience them twice. You will be back in a different era, but the memories you have in that era from before you went back, which is a bit confusing, you can't ever get back. Like, you can't experience certain things again. It'll be your second time experiencing things, not your first time experiencing things. Which means that it's all going to be different. Does that make sense? Not really. See, this is why I'm doing stuff like this, to better be able to articulate my thoughts and whatnot. Try and rephrase it. But when you're a kid and... where the hell was my book? I don't know, when you're a kid and it was Christmas, you didn't know what you were going to get on your 10th Christmas. But if you went back in time, you'd still be a kid, but you're just an adult in a kid's body. Like, you don't have that, you wouldn't be able to relate to your friends. You would already know what you're getting for Christmas. You might not even enjoy the Christmas present anymore. You wouldn't find the need for it. So even though you're back in that time, in that kid's body with those people you like, you'll end up realizing that you're just even more alone, because you're just changing your past memories, and the people that you were close friends with in the past, you might not be able to get along with anymore, just because you're a different person to who they became friends with. And I think that's even more lonely. And I know that might not happen, but I wouldn't want to risk it. The memories I made, I want to keep them. I wouldn't want to lose my childhood friends. And you might say, well, I don't keep in contact with them anymore. I've already lost them. Yeah, but you're still friends with them in that era, right? You're not friends with their new self, but you're still friends with their old self, and I think that's something you can appreciate. I don't know, but maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you think that it's fine because you still carry those memories either way. But I mean, there's some truth to that as well, obviously. So who knows? Who knows? This is a nice little base. I might build it with... oh, well, I don't really have anything else. I can build it with granite, I guess. I'm a horrible builder, so maybe that's another skill I can get the more I do these. Consistency prevails is what they say. There's a guy I know from uni that says that all the time. And maybe he's onto something. He probably is. That does look ugly, doesn't it? Maybe I'll just leave it as this for now. Yeah, and then maybe I'll have it so this goes. Well, maybe I build it out of diorite or something, I don't know. Maybe in the middle. It's just like that. And then have it as diorite. I really suck at building. I should like watch your tutorial or something. But then again, like I was saying, like you can't be good at something unless you first. Well, I mean, unless you got to be bad at it first. If you have to learn a new skill, no one wakes up knowing everything, do they? I'll get there eventually. Well, that was my 15 minutes for today, so I will see you tomorrow, and maybe I'm a bit less scatterbrained, not bit more, less scatterbrained. I'm not even making sense today. Wow. It's like that some days, isn't it? See you tomorrow.